I like how he draws the women.
Here we are again, do action figure review.
What's up, everybody? Today we're gonna look at 3A's Mort December Mort 13 Future. Matt, what is this?
I don't really know.
But what is the product? Like, how'd you get it?
Oh, I had to order it like 11 months ago.
It's their subscription box, you say?
It's not really a subscription. It's like you get a discount if you buy this thing.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, here he is at the box. He's looking pretty cool. I started getting a lot of these because I wanted to kind of like learn about 1/6 scale figures and how they like worked and see the cloth and stuff like that, because I eventually wanted to make something.
Yeah, 3A has good examples of unique garments,
Yeah,
say, and stitching and things.
It was an easy way to get into it because I got like a couple off eBay for like $40. I was surprised, really.
And then this guy is a good example for me with his clothes, I think.
Yeah, you
Right.
have like the same outfit.
Yeah. Well, if you're into hideous Ashley Wood ego trip art projects, you'll like this. 3A makes some nice figures, but this one's got extra Ashley Wood stuff for you, like a comic, a little dick card, and like a passport. Yeah, the comic, I mean, it's all high quality materials. It's hard, you can't read his handwriting really, and then it's like all over the place, but it's cool in like an art way, you know? I think he was a magician and they killed him. Now he looks like every other Ashley Wood character, but he did before, so.
Yeah. It's weird. I can't read most of the stuff because it's printed black on dark red.
Ah, yes. Here's a passport made by You Gotta Be Shitting Me company or something, and it has probably some lore stuff in there. It's cool that the sticker they give you goes in there, so if you have the passport,
you can like fill it up or whatever. It's a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind it. He comes with this card. Just print it on there. It's kind of nice. It's like a real legit credit card. It's embossed and everything.
They have high production quality. But getting to the figure, this guy is really cool and unique looking, unlike most of their figures, I would say, which are rehashes and reuses.
Well, I mean, even this one kind of has some reuse stuff. The jacket's like not entirely new, you know.
I just happen to have this combination of jacket and scarf in my closet, so I think it's pretty cool. He comes with some accessories, like some guns and bones, but I think the coolest part is the cloth work on this. I have some Hot Toys, but I don't have a lot of 1/6 figures, so I rarely get to see fine examples of tailoring.
Yeah, whoever made this was probably some tiny hands somewhere. It's really great.
This thing is legit. The stitching, like the hat has a little wire in the rim, just really high production quality, which is great.
The hat's not as good as I thought it was going to be. It's like there's no paint on it, or it's not scuffed up or anything. It's very
like a
plain.
fuzzy hat.
But you got this scarf. It's really nice. It feels like a real scarf. It's super, super duper freaking long.
Yeah. You
Got
see
this
the bone?
Yeah.
It's nice sculpt, nice paint. I don't know what else you'd want.
It's very stylized, simple. It's like when you get to any organic stuff, it's very simplistic. But then if you get to metal or cloth, they look more real.
Yeah, like the guns look like real guns as opposed to his giant hands. But Ashley Wood style, just like most of the figures, right? It's always the heads and the feet and the hands that are kind of outrageous a little bit. Everything works how it should, especially at this price point. With the quality of materials, I give it a pass. I think in the comic he had the bone and the guns. When you open the box, actually, the bone is right on the front flap, and I think there's text, but I couldn't be bothered to read it, so who knows what any of this means. It's a cool looking figure, though. And he has his little pleather holsters. They fit right in there. Everything's in good scale, which is what you want. I think because they're pleather, and you can see that, like, the lining of the pleather, it makes them look a little cheap, you know? Like G.I. Joe stuff.
They're kind of overly large. I don't know if there's a different way they could have done it, but yeah, they hang down really far. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I think not.
They're there, so. The head is a nice sculpt.
They glued on some gauze or something.
Yeah, but let's talk about this inner suit jacket. This thing's amazing. The material is very high quality, and the lining, like look at under the collar, like real suit jackets, so that's why I flipped it up to check right there. And then the satin lining of the inside of the suit jacket, like real suit jackets, not to mention the buttons. They did, like, I'll see custom pieces done by 6 scale, like, tailors that cost a lot of money. And this thing is just on this figure that would get covered up, and this thing wasn't even like, what, $200?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I would get this just for that alone if I saw it in his cool pants.
I think you like it more than I do, Greg.
I think it's just because I like suits and skinny legs.
Most of the other stuff comes with like capri pants.
Yeah, dude, give me some like James Bond stuff.
Yeah, those shoes.
These
are
cool wingtip shoes.
Yeah.
They're stylized, but they work perfectly, I think, for this guy. The 6 scale bodies are usually proprietary from whatever company, like Hot Toys has their True Type. But they mostly have the same kind of range of motion if they're well done. And not having had any experience with 3A figures at this scale, I was very impressed with this body. And how it worked with the outfit, too. The outfit was not restrictive, even though the tailoring is so tight.
It's pretty cool. The legs can move a lot. Their pants are made of really stretchy material.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple older ones, and you can't move their legs almost at all.
Yeah, this is really fun. This guy was fun to pose and play with.
You like skulls?
Yeah, like a skull and then like suit and some guns.
It's like Dead You.
It already won, yeah. So the cool thing about this jacket is that everything scales very well. Nothing looks bulky or too toy-like. So that means there was a lot of planning and thought that went into this. Not just to match his horrific artwork, but to make this a really cool-looking piece on your shelf. So I was like, oh man, is it cooler with this jacket or without? But I don't know.
It's more hipster, you know, these
yeah,
days.
I guess. The sleeves are really long, so you kind of got to roll them up. But that's really the only futzing you have to do. Everything fit very nice. And then you just plug the hands back in.
Yeah, these hands kind of just sit in there. They don't really
They're not secure.
plug in. Yeah, they come out very easily, so be careful with that.
And then if you want to create the look from the comic or box or whatever, you can wrap the scarf around his head and then around his neck. So this figure's big enough to where you can kind of wrap it how you do a real scarf. So you get a few different variations. I think it would have been cool if it had a wire, because in the art it flies behind him or off to the side.
Sense.
But
maybe at least like towards the ends.
mm-hmm. That's okay, I guess. And then there's his hat for his look. If you want it.
Like, was he a fisherman or?
Yeah, the hat's like a fisherman's hat. But you could put the hood over too and make it look cooler. So
Like in the artwork, I actually thought it was more like a knight's helmet. That's why. Actually,
yeah, it's drawn a little bit differently, huh?
That's kind of why I brought it over, because Greg likes knights. So here he is next to Cairo Lynn,
From Hot Toys.
and here he is next to a couple other 3A figures. We got the Andy Warhol and the Zomkin.
Here he is next to Venom, the Bath.
He's smaller.
Final thoughts on Les Mort. Matt, take it away. Ashley Wood.
You do it.
Oh, okay. This is the only 3A figure that I would be psyched to get. Or, I mean, it doesn't matter what company. I'm just like, this is pretty cool. I don't need all that comic and subscription nonsense. I just think this is a cool, like, kit bash almost. A little, like, fun guy with some elements that I find attractive.
Yeah, he's pretty good. It's not as good as some of the older figures. I kind of like, the more bulky stuff that really put a ton of effort into. This one's more stylized and skinny, but I like the gangster astronaut guy or whatever.
Yeah, like those. This one doesn't shout 3A or Ashley Wood as much, but those are like super 3A.
Well, that one's
right?
just more like a, I don't know. There's like stitching and all kinds of stuff that go into it. It's just way more intricate.
Oh,
but,
you should have brought it. I haven't seen it.
But I mean, the only thing that you ever see of that figure is the head. So I mean, it just looks like a cool astronaut.
Yeah.
That's why I like it.
I think if people are subscribing to 3A, they're going to be happy with most things. And this guy, who I assume that was probably just made for this little set, just like another thing that they offer for the year.
This is like a second edition, apparently. I don't know.
I give it like a 3 stars out of...
Maybe just bullshitting.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Tell us what you think of the review. Comment. We'll catch you guys next time. Les Mort.
It's all right. Those legs don't move on the Andy Warhol.